The Denver Nuggets continue to prove on a nightly basis that they are the bar that the league is trying to reach. They're on the verge of going 8-0 versus the Lakers in the past 2 years during the playoffs. There's a very good chance we might be in the middle of a dynastic run that's being put on by the Denver Nuggets right now. Welcome to Bucket Team, and today we're going to get things started in Los Angeles, where the Nuggets, once again, are ready to get the brooms out.
Defense from Caldwell Pope. Jokic bounces perfectly. Murray leaves it good and slams it down.
First quarter gets going, and immediately this one starts out on a Lakers 8-0 run. They're out in the passing lanes, deflecting, getting steals on the break. LeBron even got a breakaway dunk for a highlight. Anthony Davis was imposing his will inside in the paint. That was the key for the Lakers at the beginning for sure. During the beginning of this game, they forced Denver into some uncomfortable situations. Jokic racked up 2 fouls in the first 4 minutes of the game, so that was something to keep an eye on for Denver. Austin Reeves was great in this first quarter, getting downhill, getting to the rim. Whenever he would take a fadeaway in the paint, it was only because that's what the defense was giving him. AD channeled the frustration from the previous 2 losses into a hot pursuit to score the basketball and be aggressive from the jump in this one. He was getting to the rim, he was getting fouled, he was hitting shots, he was dunking over guys. He set a great tone for the Lakers, and it kind of paid off for him. I mean, they set a very solid tone to start this game, but with Denver, you know how it is, they're never out. There was nothing really on the Lakers side during this first quarter that you could say, oh wow, that should have been better, or that could have really been improved, or whatever. Like, they were forcing turnovers on the defensive end, and they were getting out on the break and being aggressive on offense, and that was huge for them in the first. Second quarter gets going, and it's more of the same aggression from the Lakers role players, including Austin Reeves. Everybody's trying to get downhill. Whatever the game plan was, it was going well. They had a good strategy to just make Denver either foul or make decisions or get them in trouble. They had Jokic in foul trouble, and Denver was kind of forced to limit his minutes a little bit in the first half, but it really didn't limit the impact that he would ultimately have in the second quarter when he did come in. Midway through the quarter, though, the Lakers just kept taking bad shots. They kept taking really bad, poor shot selection, and Denver caught up because of that. The Lakers just straight up let them back in this game from poor shot selection. Denver's defense did step it up, but there were multiple instances where the Lakers would shoot way too early in the shot clock, or they wouldn't even try to get downhill, or they would try and do a post up for an AD or, whoever else, and Denver would rotate, and they just make it so obvious what they're doing to get in their sets. And Denver adjusted pretty well. And by the end of the half, I think it was a 4-point game, but it felt like a 1-possession game. At the half, everyone's kind of wondering when this Denver resurgence is going to just magically appear like it always does. And then the third quarter starts, and voila, Denver's back at it. They're down 4 to start the half. They're up 3 all of a sudden. LA timeout. They're talking things over, and now Denver has all the momentum. And it was about this time in the game where Aaron Gordon just could not be solved from the Lakers' end of things. He would be, every single cut he would make was a catch and a finish, whether it was a layup or a dunk, Jokic or Murray. It's just amazing how Aaron Gordon has quite literally gotten the timing of his cuts and just every off-ball action in this Denver offense down to literal perfection. Jokic and Murray are setting everybody up. They're the ones setting the table for the offense. And if Gordon went 1 second earlier or 1 second later on each of these cuts, they don't get the same result. But he's literally gotten it down to a science, when to go, when Jokic is looking for him, what Jokic's first option is, what Murray's first option is, where they're looking first. All of this has gotten down to, like I said, literal perfection, timing-wise. There's nothing you can do. All of this is just amplified when you realize that when you have Anthony Davis on Jokic, there is no Anthony Davis in the paint. So Gordon knows not only the timing of everything, but what matchups to attack and whoever is in the paint, when to go and when to not go. He absolutely was a monster in this game, and he made his imprint really most of it in the second half, but he was a monster all game long and the biggest X factor for Denver today, without a shadow of a doubt. The Lakers kept turning the ball over, just dumb plays. On defense, Denver would shadow AD. They would send somebody close, but not too close, and he would go back and forth to make him think that, okay, what do I need to pass or do I not pass? Just to have him thinking a little bit too long. It takes him longer in the shot clock, get bad shots. You know the whole story. Denver's lead, I think, ended up getting up to like 12. But Reggie Jackson would kind of tamper the mood a little bit towards the end of the third quarter as he would roll his ankle. Just really, really unfortunate for Denver. Just an unlucky play. I think he needed assistance getting off of the court. I think he might have needed some help. I don't know if he could put weight on it. I think he put a little bit of weight on it. But that's something to monitor for Denver going forward. Fourth quarter starts, and it's like, okay, rinse and repeat. Here we go again. Brown, Watson, the role guys coming in, making a big impact. They're playing defense. They're out on the break. They're both scoring really, really impactful points in a playoff game that the Lakers were not getting at this point in the game. They were getting it earlier, but not in the second half. It's really not about how you start, it's about how you finish, and Denver is the most prime example for that. Michael Porter Jr. decided to get on one of those heaters, that he can always get on. He's very capable of doing it, and he's not going to pass the freaking ball either. It's like every time he gets the ball, you know exactly what's going to happen. He's shooting tough contested fadeaway mid-range, long mid-range shots, the whole Michael Porter package, and he absolutely demoralized the Lakers in this final quarter. Along with Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon was still balling. He was still getting cuts. He was still going. He was still being aggressive. He was getting to the free throw line. And then on the other side, you had LeBron doing everything he could. He was hitting big shots. He was setting other guys up. But the problem for the Lakers was whenever they would make something, Denver would just make something at the other end. And then when they would defend well on one end and get a stop, Denver would do the same exact thing on the other end until about the 7-minute mark, and then it was just a Denver roll throughout the rest of this game. There was a sequence where Rui missed 2 free throws, and then immediately fast-paced back to the other end, Michael Porter Jr., 3, cash, 5-point swing. Those are the things that will kill any momentum in the fourth quarter in a playoff game. It just takes one thing. It takes one play. In the playoffs, it's just little things like that. Missing 2 free throws, them coming back on the other end and hitting a 3. You realize in your head that you just gave up 5 points in that sequence. Those are the little things that not only will cost you a game physically, but mentally will drain you. The Lakers offense just went freezing cold at the end of this game. I think they were shooting 14% from 3. That's atrocious. There was a defensive possession midway through the quarter for the Lakers where it basically just sealed their fate. You had AD guarding Jokic off ball, and Jokic waits for the perfect time to catch AD sleeping for 1 second, literally 1 second, and boom, cut to the rim, catch, finish, game over. It was over at that point. Denver would win this one the same way that they've won the last 2, coming back from deficits. It's the same story, and it's working for them. I don't think that they're trying to get down, but they really thrive on being down and having a deficit and be able to have the mental stability to work your way back in a game, and not only work your way back in, but ultimately win the game. In my opinion, Denver is honestly incapable of being out of a game. They have so much intelligence on the floor at all times. They have so much experience on the floor at all times. They know exactly what to do in every situation. It's truly scary for the rest of the league. You saw it last year, but this team is not last year's team. This team is better. This team has a higher ceiling than last year's team that won the whole damn thing. Shout out to Aaron Gordon. He had, I think, 29 and 15, which is career best in both of those categories for him. So congrats to Aaron Gordon. Great job. Absolutely deserves the credit that he's getting. And you've got to think this is just sending chills down the rest of the West's spine right now. Seeing this unfold again in this way, it's just remarkable. The way I see it, the fact that the Nuggets have 4 whole quarters in a basketball game is kind of an unfair concept, because if you give them that much time to figure out what the problem is, they're going to figure it out every time. That's just who they are. That's just what they do, and they've done it consistently now. If my memory serves me correctly, I'm pretty sure they were like 4th in clutch win percentage during this year, during the regular season, but everybody knows they are the best clutch team in the league, and they didn't even have to showcase that tonight, but during this series you could see it. They're just unbeatable when they know what they're doing, when they have a chance to fix an issue or address something mid-game, they will do it. And you got to credit Coach Malone, for some of that. I think his coaching staff has done an incredible job at being able to adjust mid-game. The mid-game adjustments are levels better than last year, in my opinion. The Nuggets have taken what was a phenomenal team last year and have improved on it. You can say, oh, well, the West got better. So what? You're still playing catch-up. So if Phoenix and Minnesota are watching this video or watching the games, because I know they're definitely watching the games, all I got to say is watch out. Denver is coming.